Hello, my name's Paul Vare from the University of Gloucestershire, and I've been asked to say a few words about education for sustainability as you prepare to draft a manifesto on this important topic. I thought I was going to call this "Be Careful What You Wish For," but I think "Be Clear About What You Wish For" is more accurate. Last December, when the Chief Inspector of Schools, Amanda Spielman, said that she did not support calls for climate change to feature more prominently in the curriculum, I had some sympathy with her, if not her choice of words. She used the term commandeering the curriculum, as if young people or well-meaning non-governmental groups could have the power in a functioning democracy to change the fine details of the curriculum from outside of the educational establishment. Where I agree with her is in her concern that any special interest group, no matter how significant their interest, can, in a democracy, tell the elected government of the day what should be taught in publicly funded schools and expect to succeed in those demands. Imagine if lobbyists for Greek and Latin in schools, and they exist, had their way. What would Greek and Latin replace? Climate science, art lessons, what's left of music? What if a commercial TV station wanted a broadcast into secondary schools, weaving adverts for Snickers bars between its programs, as was happening in America for over a decade, until a couple of years ago? Is that a good thing? Should it be easy for any interest group to change what young people are taught from year to year? And if they did, how could teachers keep up with that? And which interests count? So that's why I say, be careful what you wish for. And anyway, education doesn't really change in this way in any lasting sense. Education tends to reflect the society that it's serving. So for me, the issue isn't one of teaching more or less about climate change or biodiversity loss. It's about what sort of society do we want our education to reflect. Look around you. What do you like? What don't you like? What do you think we should see more of to be more sustainable? And what should we be moving away from? There are some very promising developments. There's ethical fashion brands, renewable energy companies, community enterprises that share goods and services so that every household doesn't have to buy everything it needs, even if it uses them once a year. There are companies trying to make the circular economy a reality. They design products that are taken apart at the end of their life, so the materials can be used again, instead of creating more waste and digging scarce resources out of the ground. These are the efforts of people who are clear, informed, have long-term views of the world, and they know how the world works. There are worrying trends too. Insect populations are crashing, and with that, the bird species that feed on them. While we still have too much reliance on oil and gas, it seems there are still strong arguments for new coal mines. People are effectively forced to accept 0 hours contracts, and that doesn't allow them to plan or sometimes even provide for their own families. There are countries where pupils are charged for basic education. The amounts may be very small, but such policies mean that the poorest people become even more destitute. So does our education always prepare us to be able to spot the difference between sustainable and unsustainable practices? An education that focuses on maths, literacy, science does not necessarily grow an economically and environmentally literate society. Adding something more about climate change to that will not necessarily give us the ability to make genuine choices about how we want our society to develop. Instead, let's think about what education is for. What kind of society do you want it to serve? If we have a clear idea about this, then we can start to talk about this complex, multidimensional jigsaw puzzle of teacher education, the way schools operate, and of course the curriculum. I wish you well with your discussions and with developing a manifesto for an education system with a clear, well thought through sense of purpose. Best of luck with that.